In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Dear learners, Ambareen Khalid here, your English teacher. Let's start our today's lesson, Lesson 15, Mustafa Kamal, written by Wilfrid F. Castle. This lesson of Book 2 is included in the syllabus of Intermediate Part 2. In this video, I will tell the summary of the lesson, synonyms of difficult words paragraph-wise, and main points discussed in each paragraph one by one. Today's video is part 1 of this lesson. Learners, if you like the video, do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Learn English with Ambareen Khalid. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications about my latest video lectures. If you are already subscribers, kindly do share it with your friends and classmates. So let's get started. First of all, I would tell you the summary of the lesson. Mustafa Kamal played the most important role for the victory of the Ottoman Empire of Turkey. After First World War, the condition of Ottoman Empire has been described. How Turkish people got their independence after a long struggle. Mustafa Kamal's reforms in every field after the independence. After First World War, Turkey was an allied with Germany. After the war was over, the Allied forces captured Turkey. There was the puppet government in the capital. In reality, the Allied forces were handling all the matters of Turkey. Patriots started resisting against the Allied forces in the province of Anatolia. Mustafa Kamal was sent as a governor-general to put an end to that revolt. Government realized soon that it has selected a wrong person as Mustafa Kamal started making an organized force against Allied forces there. Allied forces announced the terms of treaty and decided to divide the Ottoman Empire among the neighboring countries. The seaport of Izmir was to be given to the Greeks. Eastern Anatolia was decided to be given to Armenia. Sicily to France. The capital was announced as an international center. Mustafa Kamal, along with the patriots, refused to accept these terms of peace and declared war. In August 1921, a war was fought between patriots and the Greeks. The Greek army faced defeat at the hands of patriots after a tough battle of 14 days. On 9th of September, Mustafa Kamal, commander-in-chief of the Free Turkish Forces and savior of Turkey, entered Izmir. He put an end to the puppet government at Istanbul, the old capital. Sultanate was abolished. In November 1922, the Ottoman cabinet resigned. Mustafa Kamal became the president of the Turkish Republic and General Ismet İnönü became the prime minister. Mustafa Kamal as the great reformer. He introduced social, political, educational reforms after becoming the president. Sultan, the Mehmet, the emperor of powerful emperors, refuge of sovereigns, distributors of crowns to the kings of the earth, master of Europe, Asia and Africa, High King of the Two Seas, requested British protection. On the 29th October 1923, the name of the Ottoman Empire was wiped from the slate of history. New schools were established, teachers were trained. Roman script was introduced. Mustafa Kamal simplified the language. Flowery phrases and elaborate modes of address were abolished. Old titles were abolished. National headdress fez was abolished too. Wearing of hats was made compulsory. Mustafa Kamal abolished the veil also. He stressed on the importance of women's education. Economic reforms were introduced. Mustafa Kamal inaugurated development and construction schemes for railways and motor roads. Mustafa Kamal completely democratized the Turkish nation. He awakened the people, unchained their powers, thus making Turkey a great nation. Turkish 5-year plan was inaugurated. New factories were constructed. Banking system was organized. Ottoman public debt was reduced to 1/10 of its former size. The mental and political development of Turkish people was on a level with that of people of Western Europe in the mid-18th century. And now, learners, synonyms of paragraph 1, synonyms of difficult words. Now I will read the paragraph from the book and I will tell the synonyms of this paragraph, and after that I will explain the main points which are there in each paragraph one by one. The war was over throughout the entire means complete. Near and Middle East, the armies of the democracies had been hailed, welcomed. Not so much as conqueror, one who wins war, but as deliverers, rescuers. The Turks themselves were only too glad means happy, to be able to lay down arms. Lay down means surrender. Arms, weapons. After almost continuous fighting since 1911, a government formed from the old liberals was in power in Istanbul, its members and the Padishah himself alike eager. Eager means keen. To collaborate with the allies. Cooperate. Their conception of the best interests of the nation. Conception means idea. Interests, benefits. Their conception of the best interests of the nation was that of loyalty. Loyalty means faithfulness. To the armistice, ceasefire, and cooperation with the occupying forces of the conquerors. Occupying means taking control of. At Istanbul, the old British embassy was now the British High Commission, supported by military and naval detachments. Naval related to navy, detachments means troops. Allied officers were supervising the police and the ports, supervising, administering, and the normal machinery of the government was practically superseded. Superseded means overruled by orders and suggestions from the allies. So this is paragraph number 1. I have told you the synonyms of this paragraph. Now let me tell you the main points which are there in this paragraph. First World War ended, learners. Armies were not much welcomed as conquerors. Rather, armies of the democratic countries were welcomed as deliverers, as they rescued the people from war finally. Turks were continuously fighting since 1911. They were happy to surrender finally after a long war. Government of old liberals in power at Istanbul. Government and Padishah, Sultan and Mehmet Vor, these are the titles of the same person, the ruler of Turkey at that time. Government and Padishah, Sultan, Mehmet Vor, eager to cooperate with allied forces. Why? Because they thought that their best interest is to show loyalty to the ceasefire and be with the conquerors of allied forces. Old British Embassy became British High Commission. So, why the government its members and the Padishah were eager to collaborate with the Allies because they thought that their best interest was to show loyalty to the ceasefire, armistice, and with the conquerors of Allied forces. Old British Embassy became British High Commission, supported by military and naval troops. Police, ports, and government was in the hands of Allies practically. All the orders and suggestions were coming from the Allies. Turkey was completely in the hands of Allied forces. Now, coming towards the synonyms of paragraph 2, I will read out the paragraph and will tell you the synonyms of this paragraph. At this time, far away in eastern Anatolia, one Kazim Karabekir, with some undefeated remnants of the Ottoman army, remnants means remains, remaining part, began to obstruct. Obstruct means hinder the Allied control officers, refusing to disband his men. Disband means to break apart, to disorganize. Week by week, little encounters increased. Encounters, conflicts. It was apparent that the Turks, evident. It was apparent that the Turks were steadily growing bolder, steadily, consistently, bolder, brave, or courageous. Even in the streets of Anatolia towns, their bearing changed, bearing behavior, attitude. This caused consternation. Consternation means fear, terror, not only among the allies but in Istanbul itself. Someone must go as the representative of the Padishah and deal with the situation on the spot. A strong, capable soldier was wanted. Capable means a person who is able to do something. Every indication means hint, seemed to point to one man as being suitable for the work, and Mustafa Kamal was the man. At first, the British High Commissioner demurred, objected, but his objections were for once overruled. Objections, oppositions. Overruled, rejected. And Mustafa Kamal sailed on the 15th of May 1919, set off in a ship for the northeast coast of Anatolia as Governor General of the Eastern Provinces. Scarcely means hardly, had the small steamer bearing Mustafa Kamal, bearing a ship. Steamer means a ship propelled by steam, and bearing here means carrying. So learners, scarcely had the small steamer bearing Mustafa Kamal entered the Black Sea. Scarcely, hardly. Steamer is a ship propelled by steam. Bearing means carrying. Entered the Black Sea, then the authorities of Istanbul became suspicious, doubtful of his intentions, plans, and issued orders for the ship to be intercepted. Intercepted means obstructed, but it was too late. Now coming towards the main points of this paragraph number 2. In eastern Anatolia, Kazim Karabekir, who was a general of Turkish army, he with some remaining soldiers started hindering Allied officers. He refused to disorganize his soldiers. Little fights went on increasing on daily basis. Turks getting bolder all the time. Turks were not ready to sacrifice their independence now. In Anatolia, their behavior changed too. It was alarming for the Allied forces as well as for the Padishah. It was decided that some capable person should be sent to stop that revolt. Mustafa Kamal was chosen as that capable person. British High Commissioner objected as he was doubtful about Mustafa Kamal's intentions. His objections were rejected at that time. Mustafa Kamal set off on the 15th of May 1919 for Anatolia. No sooner did the steamer of Mustafa Kamal enter the Black Sea, authorities became suspicious of his intentions and plans. Orders were issued to stop his ship, but it was too late. Now, synonyms of paragraph 3, let me read it. The very same day, it became clear beyond all doubt that Allies had condemned the Ottoman Empire. Condemned means declared to be reprehensible or wrong, to be partitioned. Partitioned means divided to the very walls of Istanbul. On the 15th of May, the Admiral of the British Mediterranean Fleet informed the Ottoman governor of Izmir that this great seaport and the rich province of Aydin were to be occupied by the Greeks. The Ottoman troops, soldiers, were hurriedly at once, withdrawn, go back into barracks. Barracks, a large building used to house soldiers, and the Greek metropolitan raised the cross as the first Greek soldiers disembarked. Learners, let me tell you that what is Greek metropolitan. Metropolitan area is also called metropolis, a major city with surrounding areas and cities around it, over which that major area has a dominating and commanding influence socially and economically. In Greek era, the priest of that major city, metropolis, in those days was called metropolitan. And what is cross? Cross is an upright post with a transverse bar as used in antiquity for crucifixion, one used as a Christian symbol. And the meaning of disembarked is got down or dismounted. Now the main points of this paragraph 3. The same day it became evident and clear that Allies had decided to divide the great Ottoman Empire among the neighboring countries. Governor of Izmir was informed by the Admiral of the British Mediterranean Fleet that seaport of Izmir and its province, rich province Aydin, would be overtaken by Greeks. At once, the Ottoman soldiers were sent back into their barracks. Greek soldiers dismounted from their ships. Greek metropolitan raised the cross to show their supremacy. So learners, that is the end of my part 1 of this video lesson on lesson 15, Mustafa Kamal. I shall see you soon for part 2 of the same lesson. I hope that you have understood the lesson till now. Take care. Allah Hafiz.